What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm Brandy and you're watching the Glam Belle, and today we are talking about flat roots. If you are someone that struggles with having flat roots, you really want to get more volume at the roots, this video is for you. You definitely want to stick around. I'm going to share all of my best tips on how to avoid having flat roots. And before we go any further, I want you guys to comment below, is this something that you struggle with? If you are not subscribed to my channel already, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button down there and make sure to turn on the bell so that you are notified when I upload videos here on YouTube. Without further ado, let's jump on into this video. Tip number one to maximizing volume at the roots and making sure that you avoid that flat root look is to make sure that your scalp and your hair is clean. Many curly girls only wash their hair 1 to 2 times a week, but we often refresh our hair more throughout the week. So adding more product to the hair means that there's going to be more product buildup. So we need to make sure that we're getting in there and really cleansing our scalp and our hair. I like to do a good clarifying shampoo about once to twice a month, but of course I like to make sure that my hair is completely cleansed with each wash. And today I'm so excited to partner with the brand Formulate. I'm going to take you through my wash routine using the Formulate products that I customize to make sure that I am maximizing volume in my hair and at my roots.
Formulate is a personal, customizable hair care brand, and their movement is to reduce product waste, put an end to gimmicks, and solve the world's personal care struggles. All of their packaging is reusable and recyclable, and it's super easy. You basically have 4 steps. You answer the questions about yourself. You can see where I've answered some of these questions. You put in the length of your hair, the type of hair that you have, what your goals are, and basically you get matched up to a personal chemist who is going to look at all of your answers and figure out exactly what you need. What I really love is that you get to put in what your ultimate goal is. So my goal is volume, anti-frizz, hydration, curl definition, strengthening. Then you get your customized formula and you figure out if any adjustments are needed. It comes with this little insert that talks all about your specific products, exactly how to use them, the scent that you chose, and all of the key ingredients in your specific shampoo and conditioners. The really awesome thing about having customized formulas is that no 2 heads of hair are exactly alike. So what I need in a product is not going to be the same thing that you need in a product. So maybe you have split ends, or maybe you have an irritated scalp. Maybe you're trying to grow your hair. You can pick these specific things to target when customizing your formula. If you go back and look at my formula, volume was my number 1 concern. So these products were formulated specifically for me to create the most volume possible. And all of their products are sulfate and paraben free.
The great thing about customizing your own shampoo and conditioner to your hair's needs means that you're gonna get the maximum results that you can possibly get. If you're using too heavy of products on hair that is thinner, that needs lighter products, you're not gonna get the best results. So I love the fact that there's a brand out there that you can customize specifically to your needs. I'm going to be giving away a free shampoo and conditioner set to one of you, so make sure to click the link in the description box to enter to win. Tip number 2 is probably something that you've heard many times, and that is to not put conditioner right at your roots. You really want to use your conditioner and start at the ends and then slowly work your way up. If you slap on a bunch of conditioner at your roots, it is going to weigh your roots down, and you don't want to do that. By putting it at the ends and then working its way up, you're going to have the least amount of product at the root, but you're still going to get the hydration you need from that conditioner. Tip number 3 is to style your hair upside down. And what I mean by that is when you're adding your products, make sure that you're holding your head kind of to the side where your hair is falling away from the scalp. The goal is to keep the hair away from the scalp as much as possible. If you try to style your hair with your head in the normal position, which is totally fine, gravity is going to take effect. you are naturally going to have the gravity kind of pull your hair down. And so your hair is definitely gonna be a little flatter at the top than it is at the bottom. And even taking your Denman brush or whatever comb you might use to distribute your products and really get in there with your head flipped upside down and making sure that you are brushing your hair away from the scalp. Number 4, this is another really good tip, plopping. Plopping is a great way to get more volume at the roots and really just get more volume overall. Every time I plop my hair, I definitely get better results. I just do. I use the Hair Repair Ultimate T-shirt towel. It's what I've used forever and ever and ever. It's the best plopping towel in my opinion. What that does is you're piling your hair on top of your head, you're wrapping it up in a t-shirt or a t-shirt towel, and you're allowing it to dry for 20 to 30 minutes, or you can even sleep overnight in it and allow your hair to completely dry. While your hair starts to dry a little bit, it's keeping the hair up. It's gonna create more volume when you take it down. Test it out, try it. Number 5, this is for the people that don't wanna style your hair upside down, and that is clipping the roots. Basically, you take pieces of your hair and you put clips in them. I'll actually insert a picture here so that you can see what it looks like. Put clips all throughout your roots and you leave them in for however long you want and allow your roots to start to dry with those clips basically pulling your hair off of the scalp just a little bit. So that way, as it dries, it's drying away from the scalp. Do you hear anything repetitive in this video? And actually, you can put these clips in and even start to diffuse the hair a little bit and allow it to dry just a little bit quicker. Tip number 6 is something that I have done forever and ever and ever and ever, and that is diffusing my hair upside down. This is another one that a lot of people don't want to do because it's uncomfortable, it can hurt your back. A lot of times it takes a long time to diffuse our hair. I personally have very thin curly hair. I know it looks like I've got a lot of hair, but if you could feel it, I really don't have much hair at all, you guys. It's pretty thin. I know how to maximize the volume. This is something that I always do because it is probably the biggest thing that helps me get volume at the roots. So I like to keep my head flipped either to the side or upside down while I'm diffusing. This keeps the hair away from the root as it starts to dry, or keeps the hair away from the scalp as it starts to dry. And that is going to make you look like you've got more volume at the roots. I'm telling you, this is such a great technique, and I know it can be a little difficult to do, but it's totally worth it. Tip number 7 is also something that I always do, not creating a part. Many times when we're styling our hair, we know how we like our hair parted, and so you'll part your hair before you even start to dry it. This is something that you kind of want to avoid, because as soon as you start to part that hair as you dry it, that part is going to have parts that are flat. You know what I mean? You're gonna have, the part is going to look more flat in comparison to the rest of your hair. When you style your hair and you kind of just brush it, brush through your products, distribute your products even with your fingers, try not to create a specific part. Even when you're diffusing your hair, making sure that you're turning your head from side to side. I basically flip my head back and forth throughout the drying process to make sure that it's not drying flat on one side. It's just really gonna help create volume all over your hair, but especially at the roots. Number 8 kind of goes without saying, but every curly girl should be fluffing if you want volume. And when you are fluffing, you want to really get in there at the roots and really shake out the roots. At the very end of my styling routine, I use like a few drops of oil, and it really doesn't matter whatever kind you like to use. I like to scrunch out any of the gel cast that I might have, and even if I don't have a gel cast, I'll still get in there and scrunch the hair just a little bit, because what it does is it causes a little bit of friction, and you can even say that it might cause a little bit of frizz, but that frizz gives me volume. And it's not massive frizz, as you can see. It's not massive frizz that is gonna look like your hair's a mess, but it's just enough to give the hair a little extra texture. I really, really like to shake out the roots and fluff out the roots. I like to do this throughout the day as well. If I look in the mirror and I'm like, oh my gosh, my hair's looking a little flat, flip the head over, shake out the roots, flip it back, and voila, you've got volume at the roots again. Tip number 9. If you're finding that all of these other tips don't work for you, it might be that your hair is just really long and heavy. If you have a hairstyle that is very, very long and you don't have many layers in your hair, it's gonna be very difficult to get a lot of volume at the roots because naturally, of course, gravity is gonna take effect. You can't stop it. The longer our hair is, the more it's gonna pull down our curl and pull down the volume that we could potentially have. So my biggest tip would be 1, of course, you could cut your hair a little shorter and you're gonna get more volume because you're gonna have less weight. If you don't wanna cut your hair shorter, then I would definitely recommend making sure that you get plenty of layers put in your hair. As you can see, like, you know, I have pieces that are this length and I have pieces that are this length. I've got tons of layers in my hair, and that is how I like my hair because I like volume. Volume is what I'm always trying to achieve, but a good haircut or a good layering cut will definitely do you some good. And my last tip, tip number 10, is doing a protein treatment. I know you're probably like, what is that? Like, how is that a good trick for volume? Sometimes our hair is not getting the volume that it needs or that you might want because it might have too much moisture in there that's weighing it down. So if you feel like after you have washed and styled your hair and your hair feels kind of heavy and it just feels kind of weighed down, it might be that your hair needs a little extra protein to plump up the curls. One of my favorites is by Shea Moisture. It's the Power Protein Treatment. It's in the blue tub. It's by far my favorite protein treatment, but there's so many out there on the market. You can find something that works for you. If you've tried everything else but you haven't tried a protein treatment, give it a try. And that, you guys, is it for all of my tips to avoid flat roots. Let me know in the comments, which of these tips do you already do? And if you have any tips that I didn't mention, please leave them below. You might be able to help someone out in the comments. And again, I wanna say thank you to Formulate for partnering with me on today's video. I love you guys so, so much. I hope you enjoyed this. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.